Alright, good morning everybody. This is video number 2 in our quadratic series. I did y equals negative 3x squared in the last video, and in this one I'm going to do negative 1/4 x squared. I think people are struggling with this because of, well, fractions are scary, but also integers, the foe, the enemy of the ages, integers. So we'll see if we can simplify this out. This is a quadratic with a negative coefficient, so we should know at this point it's going to look like that. I think you all are getting the idea that these graphs look like this, because even if your coordinates are wrong, you're still graphing it that way. So I think that's getting in there. Got my shaky cam going again, I'm sorry. Okay, now here's the deal. This is a fraction. I have to be careful with the x values that I choose. I'm going to look at the denominator and go, that's 4. I'm going to choose things that are divisible by 4. So let's see here. We'll keep it pretty simple. Let's do negative 8, negative 4, 0, and 4, and 8. And that will work too on my pre-prepared little graph there. So I chose these values. Let me say this again very clearly. I chose these values because they are evenly divisible by 4. I have been seeing weird fractions show up in the homework on graphs, and that should not be the case. If you were dealing with this, you would divide by 2. If you were dealing with this guy, you would then be dividing by, well, by negative 2, by negative 3. Whatever that fraction is, as long as it's a unit, as long as it's a unit fraction, it's got 1 on the top, even something, oh, Miss Hayes, you're going crazy now. What's going on here? You would still be dividing by negative 6. Multiplying by negative 1/2 is the same as dividing by negative 2. Multiplying by negative 1/3 is the same as dividing by negative 3. So that's why I chose all these things that are divisible by 4, because, say it with me, multiplying by negative 1/4 is the same as dividing by negative 4. So give some space over here for my work. Negative 1/4, I gotta write that 5 times. Negative 1/4, negative 1/4, negative 1/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then my values, so parentheses, parentheses. Negative 8, negative 4, 0, positive 4, 8. Now we all know what's going to happen for a certain one of these, right? This guy, we don't even really have to, it's like, oh wait, I forgot the squared thing. Hold on. These are all squared, 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 squared. I got ahead of myself there because you know 0 times 0 is 0 and 0 times anything is 0. So you just automatically know that that's what's going to happen in this case. It always happens. Well, let's go back up here to this guy. Let me get my different color pen here. Okay. Shaky cam. Negative 8 squared is negative 8 times negative 8. That is actually positive 64. Positive 64. And then positive 64 divided by negative 4 is 16. Just negative 16, rather. I don't know if I'll be able to graph that, but that's okay. So, negative 16 for this one. Negative 4 times negative 4, that's what that means, is positive 16, but divided by negative 4 is negative 4. We already talked about the 0. And this is the same as this guy, except that it's positive. Both of these come out positive, right? Negative times a negative is a positive. Positive times a positive is a positive. Divide by negative 4. You get negative 4 again. Remember, I wasn't lying. All these guys are going to be negative except for 0. 0 is just doing his own thing there. And then again, 64 divided by negative 4 is negative 16. So that's where all those guys come from. If you chose other values that are not divisible by 4, then you have to graph fractions. Ah, the horror, the peril. Oh no, terrible things will happen. Actually, it won't, but it's, you know, just more difficult. Okay, so now it's time to graph this guy. Negative 1/4 x squared. I chose values that are divisible by 4. I've got these guys after all my work. I'm looking at it again because it's, I don't know how many times I have told you guys this. You're probably sick of hearing it, but it's really easy to make little mistakes if you have a long process. So I'm looking at this to make sure that it's right. 64, negative 16, 16, negative 4, 0, 0, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's do some graphing here. All of these things have 0, 0 in them. And then the two symmetrical sides are, okay, negative 4, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's negative 4, negative 4. Oh, it's wide. See how when it's a fraction, it makes it wider? It's cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I love graphs. I think they're so beautiful and interesting. All right. Oh, let's see. Can we do all the way down to 16? Yeah, we probably could. Can we do all the way over to 8? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, awesome. Okay. I'm going to have to dot this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Wow. Nice. I have to do the same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I make a mistake, tell me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You can send me an email. This says you messed up on the video. You gotta fix it. I'll be like, okay, thanks for letting me know. All right. There. So, in summary, quadratic equations like this can be used to model the behavior of infectious diseases like the coronavirus. This guy has a coefficient that is a fraction. So I'm going to choose x values that are divisible by 4 so that my y values come out as whole numbers and I don't have to deal with graphing fractions. This is the work that I went through pretty carefully to make sure that I got my right answers. You can also check things on a graphing calculator, like Desmos graphing calculator. That's fine. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4. Just making sure that that looks right, like this. I mean, I made it way bigger than my initial graph, but that's okay. And then if you get other quadratics, remember negative 1/2 divided by negative 2, negative 1/3 divided by negative 3, negative 1/6 divided by negative 6. I'm not going to give you this one, but you will see 1/2, 1/3. You will see those in my assignments. Okay, that does it for this episode of Desktop Math. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.